Imagine turning $5.9 million into almost $30 million. Here's how Bobby Bonilla made that happen. July 1st is known around the baseball world as Bobby Bonilla Day. It's the day that Bobby Bonilla collects $1.19 million from the Mets as part of his deferred salary agreement back in the year 2000. But what actually happened for a deal like this to come to fruition? Here's the full story. Back in 1991, the Mets signed Bonilla to what at the time was the largest contract in sports at 5 years, $29 million, which numbers seem like peanuts today. After the first 3.5 years of that contract, the Mets traded Bonilla to the Florida Marlins, where he won a World Series in 1997. And in typical Marlins fashion, he was part of the post-World Series teardown, and they traded him back to the Mets. In January of 2000, the Mets decided to part ways with Bonilla. Once again, only this time, they decided that they were going to release him. However, upon releasing him, the Mets still owed Bonilla $5.9 million. And this is where they became the butt of the joke. Instead of just paying him the $5.9 million that he was owed, the Mets decided to defer the money at 8% interest until the year 2011. Why did they do this? Because the Wilpons thought that they were about to make a ton of money by investing with Bernie Madoff. We all know what happened with Bernie Madoff. The Wilpons lost almost all their money in the Ponzi scheme, and over the 11-year period from 2000 to 2011, Bonilla's original $5.9 million at 8% interest turned into $29.9 million. If you take that and divide it by 25 years, that's how we get to Bonilla getting $1.19 million a year for 25 years. People love to say things like, "That's so Mets," and in this case, this is one of the most Mets things to ever happen. The Wilpons thought they were geniuses. They got caught in a Ponzi scheme, and Bobby Bonilla ended up with the retirement plan of a bought-out CEO. Sure, guys like Griffey, Chris Davis, Max Scherzer, and more recently, Shohei Ohtani have had deferred contracts, which also end up paying out on July 1st. It's like the MLB day where everybody's deferred payments get sent. But those deals weren't made because the owners thought that they were smarter than everybody else. And that's why the Mets are the butt of the joke when it comes to Bobby Bonilla Day. Not because Bobby Bonilla and his agent made a good deal, but because the Mets ultimately made a bad one.